Good afternoon, all. The actual recording of this particular class has been uh, crashed due to some technical and network issue, so I am unable to recover the original file. So that I am recording this particular session by myself by giving the summary of what happened in this particular class. Okay, so in this particular class, we have seen about text mining using natural language processing. So, what is natural language processing? It is a part of computer science and artificial intelligence which deals with the human languages. So, the main goal of this natural language processing is to understand the human language and try to replay them in the human language itself, either through text or voice. So, what is text mining? It is a process of converting unstructured data type into an meaningful information. Here, unstructured represent the text as well as the voice. If you take the example here, there is an Amazon review has been given, and the rating and the comment for that particular product has been given here. So here, the rating is represented as structured data, whereas the review is considered as an unstructured data. Similar way for movie review or any other kind of things are there, means it is not possible by an human to read each and every comment and to understand what the user is trying to say. Instead, if you use the natural language processing, means and they can able to find the gist of whether it is a positive command or negative command, what type of rating this particular movie will get, whether the product is a best selling product or not. Everything can be identified by using our natural language processing itself. It saves a lot of our time as well. So, and then what we have seen is NLU and uh, NLG. So first, the our model has to get the input from the user. So that is called as NLU. So natural language understanding. After getting the input either in text format or an audio format, the machine has to understand what the user is trying to say. Once the user understood once the machine understood what the user is saying, then it has to reply to the user in the form of text or an audio, similar like in human language. So that comes under the natural language generation. Okay, so it is a process of converting structured data into natural language. Okay, then we have seen NLP terminologies. Okay, what are all the terms we use in the NLP programming? So first is tokenization. So here a complete sentence or a paragraph will be broken into small words, individual words. They will try to split it. Then in the next step, each individual words have been collected with similar meanings, and then those meanings will be those from for those words, root form of the words will be identified. So here if you take means playing, played, plays are in different tenses, but all comes under the same root word play. So likewise we will try to stemming the data. Whereas we go for if you go for lemmatization, means it will try to give you a meaningful um, word for, like similar to finding a meaning for in the dictionary. So here if you take means better, super is there. So similar meaning for those words are good. So like that it will give you some meaningful information. Whereas in some cases, stemming method will give improper names, so it is hard to find what it is trying to say. So mostly we will prefer going for lemmatization method. And then we have parts of speech. So here what will happen is after doing the tokenization and splitting the sentence into individual words, each word will be compared with the parts of speech in our English, whether this comes under noun, pronoun, adjective. Likewise, it will try to segregate each and every word and their corresponding parts of speech. So that is called as POS. And then we have named entity recognition. So here one more step further it will go, and then it will try to understand whether this particular word is an name of a person or an location or an organization or any money, like value is there or a movie name is there, a character name is there, quantity, everything it will try to analyze and label the words. So that is called as named entity recognition. And then in this particular topic, we will be seeing about NLTK package as well as the SPACY package. So NLTK means Natural Language Toolkit, and then SPACY is little bit Advanced Natural Language Processing Toolkit. Okay, and what are all the basics applications of NLP? So first we have seen the sentiment analysis. So based on the tweet or review or like movie review or any other thing, they can able to understand whether the given text is neutral or bad or good. Like that we can able to analyze. So that is one thing. So another thing is chatbot. Nowadays we can see chatbot in most of the applications, websites. So this will save most of the human resources, as well as it will be enable for 24 into 7. Okay, so that is one advantage of using chatbot. So it will reply both in text as well as voice also available. And then speech recognition, like we have home appliances like Google Home, Amazon Alexa is there. Along with that, in mobile phones also we have Siri, OK Google is there. So all works based on the speech recognition only. And then we have seen machine translation. So here, translating from one language to another, extracting the text from another one language to another language, everything is possible in the machine translation. And then spell checking. So one of the famous uh, application we have is Grammarly. It can be integrated with all our keyboard, uh, and then in all the websites it is available, and separately they also have some website as well. So there if you go and type anything, means it is not only going to check for the spelling mistake, but also it will give you some suggestions, similar meanings they will provide. They will check for grammar, complete sentence it will check. Everything is possible in spell checking. So that is another one AI application. And then keyword search. So whenever you are typing in the any search engine, so before you type it is giving you some suggestions, right? So all this are comes under the keyword search. So again, this is also an optimized AI model. And then extracting information, like from image trying to extract the text, or translating the signboards to our language. So everything is possible using the AI method or NLP method. Okay, so we have seen the basics of natural language processing, right? So So first thing we have seen is how to install the library. Okay, so first thing we are going to see is Spacey library. So this is you can go and check for the documentation in spacey.io. Okay, to install the Spacey, you have to give pip install Spacey, even that is enough, or you can give it as hyphen upgrade. Okay, so the latest version which has been installed in my system is 3.2.1. Okay, so import Spacey and then Spacey dot version if you give means it will return you the version of the Spacey install in your system. And then next thing you have to install is the package, English package. So because we are going to deal with words and other things, we need the complete package of English. Likewise, it is available for so many languages. So you can import other language package also if you are familiarized with those languages. So, and then in this line I have imported the uh, language package. Okay, Python slash m spacey download en. So en represent the encoding English. format core web SM. Okay, likewise, if you go to the particular website means, so you can find what are all the languages which will support and their code has been given. Likewise, if you go to their official website also, so they might have given all the features. So it's suppose 64 plus languages, pipelining is there, word vector is there, tokenization, named entity. So whatever we have seen in the PPT are available in this SPACY algorithm. And also it supports PyTorch and TensorFlow and other frameworks. Okay, so that is the advantage of using this SPACY model. Here in today's class, we are just seeing the introduction of the SPACY, and we will be focusing and trying to solve a problem in NLTK only. Okay, so after installing this particular package, let me close it down. And then we have seen about the parts of speech. So noun, adjective, verb, and so on is there in the English, right? So first step, I have to import the package which I have downloaded. So import encore web sm. And the next step, I am loading this particular package into my NLP variable. Okay. So after loading, it will become an function. So spacey dot language English en dot English. Okay. So now using this particular NLP, we are going to perform the upcoming operations. So first step, what we are doing is we are trying to pass one string into our NLP method. Okay, here I'm learning natural language processing. The course name is Diploma in Data Science. Like that, I'm passing to my NLP means. So, and then if I'm trying to print the token, which means each word by word I'm going to print, and then along with that, I will print the parts of speech. So, the syntax is token dot pos underscore. Okay, for text we will give dot text. So if I do like that means, so for I it is a pronoun, am actually learning verb, like that it will dot means punctuation, like that it will return you a list of items with their parts of speech. And then if you go to the lemmatization and stemming method, so as I mentioned in lemmatization, meaning of the words based on the dictionary extracted the base word. Whereas if you go for stemming method, it extract the root of the word. So first we will see the lemma method. Okay, again I'm splitting the document in token format. Here instead of POS, I'm calling the token dot lemma method. So here the syntax is token dot lemma underscore. Okay, here if you see means, so I's base word is I, am's base word is B, learning base word is learn. So likewise, it is changing the giving you the base words. Okay, all others remains the same. Okay, so now what we are going to do is from NLTK package we are going to take the stemming method. So for this stemming method, first we have to import the NLTK library, and then after installing the library from NLTK dot stem dot porter stemmer method we have to call and create one object. So from that particular object stemmer dot stem, if you pass any string means it will return you the root word. So the root word for learning is learn. Okay, so similarly, how we have done in the for loop, we will try to compare here with the actual text, and then lemma value, and then the stem value. Okay, here I am passing the token dot text as my input to my stemmer dot stem. Okay, if I do this means, so here if you see means I remains the same for both lemma and stemming method. Whereas if you come here means am is considered as B in the lemma method, and then am in stem method. So learning, so both are learn only. So here if you see means natural is considered as natural in a lemma method, whereas nature in stemming method, that too spelling if you see means only R is there, so E is missing. So likewise, if the ending words are not silent words means it is removing them from our words. So like here also language E is missing, and then course E is missing. So like here science is missing. Likewise, it is giving some improper uh, words. So that is why we go for the lemma method. And then we have seen about named entity recognition, NER. So if you go to this particular website means, so they have given some detailed code and then the meaning and description as well as some example. So if you see here means, here if you are written with person means it represents people including the fiction character. So if it is coming as organization means any company name or agency institution is there means it will return it as org, like example Microsoft, MIT, FBI, etc. So for location it will return it as GPE. Okay, so here GP is there. It means country, city, or state is there means it will return as GPE. If it is returning as LOC means any location, mountain, range, like that is there means it will return it as LOC. Likewise, we have lot of naming methods. If we go for money means, so if you are specifying it in numbers or in text also, it will try to understand. 20 cents means it is a money. Like that, it will understand. Okay. For this, we will see some example. Here, if you see the text means, here I have given the IBM is an US company located in Chennai, started in the year 1990, and this year revenue is $300 billion. Like that, I have given. So I am passing this particular text into my NLP. Okay, and then if I'm trying to print the entity of my document, so for that, what we have to give is document.ents. Okay, and then I'm printing actual text and then the label of my entity. So here if you see means IBM is an organization, US is a GPE, Chennai is it is assuming it as an organization because it may not know about the particular word, and the year 1990 is taken as date, and this year also taken as date only, and 300 billion is taken as money. Okay, we can visualize this even better way by giving from spacey import display. So here display spelling is ASPLACY, display C. Okay, inside this display C we have a render method. Okay, inside that we will pass the document, the string value, and then we have to specify the style, which is equal to entity in short we have to give like that. If we give this means, so in the actual text it will highlight with different color visualization along with the text, it will represent the label as well. Okay, so for better visualization purpose, we can go for this spacey method. And then we have discussed about the stop words. So the words that appear very often and they don't help to understand the content of the document. If you are separately reading that particular word means they don't give any proper meaning. So likewise, we are having some stop words for each different language. Okay, so here we are going to see about the English language. So to get these stop words, we have to give this particular line from spacey dot language dot en dot stop underscore words input stop words. So all should be in caps, and then if I'm printing those words mean, so you can see all the words which are considered to be as a stop words in English language. So totally we have 326 stop words is there. We can also check whether a particular string is a stop word or not, so it will return either true or false. Okay, this particular condition can be checked using NLP method also. For that, what we have to give is NLP dot vocab. Inside that, we have to pass our string, and then we will check is stop or not. Okay, if you give is stop means it will return either true or false. Here I have given Chennai, so Chennai is not a stop word, so it is returning me as false. Okay. Similarly, we can use one for loop and then we can print the stop words alone separately. So likewise, I have separated all these stop words. Similar way, we can also separate the meaningful words without by leaving the non stop words. So for that, simply I have given not NLP.vocab is stop. So we got all the meaningful words. Along with that, we also got some punctuation. So here the punctuations are not considered as stop words. Okay, that has to be separately processed later. Okay, and then we have seen about tokenization, right? So complete text will be given. So and if I put it in a for loop means it will print each word by word based on the space. Okay, for each space it will convert them into sub in new line. Okay, we can also separate like sentence by sentence also based on giving the document dot split dot method. Okay, so this is all we have seen about introduction to natural language processing. And then we have seen about sentiment analysis program, right? So this is what the problem statement we have discussed in this particular class. Sentiment analysis using Twitter dataset. So if you have not installed means you should install with pip install spacie upgrade, and then you have to import the English package, and the libraries which we need to import is spacie and the English package panda numpy, and then here one more package is called regular expression. By default it will be available in Python, and then we will go for random method. So next thing what we have to do is we have to import the data set, right? So for that pd read CSV file, and the file which I'm going to take is called train.csv. Here this file will not have any header, so I will give it as header is equal to none, and then I will give names for those columns. So their names are sentiment, ID, date, query, user, and text. And one more thing which we need to consider here is encoding. So here why encoding is very important, whereas in previous classes we have not used any encoding method. Why? Because by default all the files will be in UTF-8 file format. So if you are not specifying it also, the system can able to read the file format. Whereas this particular file is in uh, Latin 1 format. So if you are trying to access that particular file, it will throw you some error. So to avoid that error only, we are specifying the encoding method. Okay, once we have uh, taken the data frame into the train data, so we are trying to see what is present inside our data set. So here, as I told, the sentiment is having 0 and 4 value. Okay, here 0 means the negative value and 4 means the positive tweet. Okay, like that you can see negative tweet and positive tweet. And some of the unwanted columns are present like ID, date, query, user, which we may not be using for any training or testing purpose. So in so first we will see the unique words, unique numbers present in our sentiment part. As I told, we are having only two values, 0 and 4. So 0 represent negative and 4 represent positive value. Okay. And then if you check how many positive and negative sentences are present in our data set, so you have to give np.unique train data sentiment, comma, return count is equal to true. So if I give like this means 8 lakh will be come for negative values and 8 lakh will come for positive uh, Twitter uh, tweets are present in our data set. Then, as I told, we are going to remove the unwanted columns from our dataset like ID, date, query, and user. By specifying axis equal to 1, all those will be removed. So now we will remain with sentiment and text. So text is going to be our x value and sentiment is going to be our y value. Okay, then we will be splitting the data into x and y. So all the rows I am taking, and then the first column alone I am taking the values, and for y I am taking the zeroth columns values, and then I am splitting them into train and test data. So here I'm using the sklearn.model selection import train test method, split method. Here, usually we will give this particular line for splitting the data. But before that, we have given one more line as well. So why this particular line is given is because uh, our data set contains a huge amount of rows, which is that many text has to be processed. So it will take lot of time. Even I take a full complete day to complete this particular program. So to avoid that, we are taking only 3% of the model from our data set. So I will specify only 3% of data has been taken from actual data set. Okay, from this particular 3%, we are splitting them, we are taking 20 percentage for testing purpose, and the remaining 80 percentage will be splitted for training and training purpose. Okay, so if now I check the size of the train value means, so 38,400 rows are there, and for testing we are having 9,600 rows is there. Next, we have to pre-process our data. Okay, for that I am importing the English language, and then I am creating one custom function for removing unwanted text from our data. So for that, I am creating a function name called pre-processing. Inside that, I will pass the input as my sentence. So for each sentence, it will be converted into lowercase. So first step, it will be converted into lowercase, and then we are using the regular expression method. So here, the dot sub represent the replacement operation. So here, what are the things we are replacing? We don't need at, and after at, if any text is coming means either caps or small or any numbers, we don't need those numbers. Here plus represent one or more characters. If any characters is present or more characters present also, it will remove them entirely, and those words will be converted into spaces. Okay, so removing words next to at. Okay, along with the at also it will be removed. And then again we will go to the another step. So here we will try to remove the unwanted HTML website links. So for that we have specified as HTTPS question mark. So here question mark represent, in some cases we will have only HTTP, and in some cases we will have HTTPS. So yes, here is optional one. If it is present or not present also, take it as a uh, removing statement. So and then whichever following the double slash, that also should be removed from our sentence and replaced with some spacing. Okay, and then finally what we will do, we will replace the dot value like full stops into empty values. Okay, and then we will create one empty list called tokens. So inside that we are going to store the processed sentences. So for that we have to give like token dot text from token in NLP sentence. Okay, here only our sentence is going to pass. And what are all the things we are going to check here? We don't need to be that particular word as stop words. We don't need that word to be as number. We don't need to be as a punctuation mark or space or anything. And length also should not be equal to 1, which means greater than 1 should be there. Then only those words will be taken into our token. So finally, after splitting all the data, we has to combine all those separated data. So for that, I am using the join method. So inside that element for element in token. So after looping over, it will join all the values into a single value. sorry, single sentence or a paragraph. Uh, and then we will return the tokens. So for example, here if you take the pre-processing means I have given like at Nile Chennai space and http nilet.edu.in open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So here what has happened is only open PM that alone has been taken. Okay, and then after here it is taken as a slash n or something, so that's why remaining values are present, and in full stop has been all the full stop has been removed here, so you can see it as a single text. Likewise, we are going to process for all the training data as well as the testing data. So basically, we are doing the pre-cleaning method. So that is why I have specified as extrain cleaned and extras cleaned. Okay, after completing that, if you go and check the cleaned data, it will have 38,400 rows as it is. Okay, but cleaned data. So for checking purpose, what I'm doing, I'm randomly going to take any 10 values from my cleaned data. So for that, I'm specifying here for underscore in range 10, print extrain cleaned random.randint 0 to length of training value minus 1. So randomly it will take from the cleaned value 10 values. And then we have to find this sentiment analysis with NLTK package. So for that I'm importing the NLTK and I'm downloading word or lexicon package. So here if you see me the package word and lexicon is already updated, which means it is having all the words for finding the sentiment of a text. Okay, for that we have to import this particular line. So nltk.sentiment.border import sentiment intensity analyzer. So this sentiment intensity analyzer is going to analyze our text values, and then it will return whether it is a positive or negative or some neutral values. So here if you see the example means NLTK classifier I have created variable, and for that I have passed the sentence intensity analyzer. So inside that if I am passing any text or sentence, so I love this food means, so it is assuming 0 percentage it is possibility that it is a negative sentence, and 32 percentage it is a neutral language, and 67 percentage it is assuming that it is a positive word, so it is a positive sentence only. Likewise I'm giving I ate this food, so here it is sure that it is not a positive word, and the percentage of negative is high, so it is considering it as a negative word only. So likewise we are changing the hate to have. So now it is 100% sure it is a neutral word only, not a neutral sentence only, not a positive or a nor a negative word. Likewise, we can do this particular process by using a for loop. So each sentence will be passed to our NLTK classifier polarity score. So it will return me the negative, positive or neutral values. Okay, for each sentence. And then what we have seen here is sentiment analysis using TF-ID method. So we are going to use scikit-learn model to check how much it can able to predict. So for that, we should know about what is TF-IDF. So it is a term frequency inverse document frequency. So here what will happen is each sentence will be converted into vector count vector format. So how many times the particular word is occurring in a sentence. So everything will be calculated in the first step, like how we have seen in the previous example of Amazon review. And then in the next step, what will happen in the TF part is it will perform this particular operation. So number of times the term T appeared in the document by number of terms in the document. So like that it will give some weightage to our each word present in each sentence. So here each word occurred one time, so 1 by 5, which is 20 percentage. So every word got 20 percentage. Likewise, it will calculate for all four words for this particular example. And then the next step, if you go, means IDF. So inverse document frequency. For this, the formula is 1 plus log of total number of documents by number of document term T appears, which means we have four document. In the four document, how many times, in how many documents that particular word is present. So that will be calculated in the IDF method. So for that, each bird will be taken and then it will be checked how many sentence it is present. So here if you see, the document is present in three sentence, 1 2 and 4. So the formula will be 1 plus log of 4 by 3, so which is 1.28. Likewise, if we are going for first, means it is present only in 1 and 4, so 1 plus log of 4 by 2, which is 1 by 69. Likewise, it will try to again weightage our particular sentence, and then those two values will be multiplied for each word, so and in the each sentence. So if you see, means document is having 20 percentage of TF and 1.28 percent 1.28 value of IDF, so both value has been multiplied and one new value we got. Likewise, for each word it will calculate some final weightage. So what are all the things we seen? First, we define for the frequency, how many times the word is present in the particular sentence, and then it will find the weightage. So how much weightage this particular word has got. So based on this weightage, it will try to calculate the sum of all the weightage present in a sentence. So here if you see, means all the weightage of each words has been calculated and summed up, and then we will finally try to order those sentence based on the descending order. So the least value getting sentence will be ignored, and the most high scored value will be used frequently. Okay, so this is the concept of TF-IDF. So based on that, we are going to see how we will solve the particular problem and find the sentiment of a twit, whether it is a positive or negative. So for that, first we are going to extract the feature extraction.text from the scikit-learn. From that we have TF-ID vectorizer. Okay, so it will be initialized in this particular line, and then we will create one variable xtrain TF-IDF. Here the Xtrain cleaned value will be passed to our vectorizer, and it will convert them into fit transform method. Okay, like whatever step we have seen in the PPT, those will be appearing here. Okay, so if you check the size of the particular features available, it is having 35,176 features are there, and then we are getting one small pre-processing to extract only the lemma values from the cleaned data. So for that we are going for only one step, one main step, which is from a NLP sentence we are taking only the lemma values and then storing it in a token, and then finally we will join it into a single sentence and we will be returning those sentence. Like if you see here, means learn, learned, learning. If I give, means it will return me learn, 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 like that. So likewise we are going to do for all the trained, I mean X trained cleaned values. So that will be stored in X trained cleaned lemma. Okay, and then similarly we will do for the testing as well. Okay, here X test also the same process has been executed, and then we are trying to transform the data. Okay, X just cleaned llama will be passed to the instead of giving it as fit transform, we will give it as transform, and then that will be stored in xtext f tf idf for variable. So if you check the shape, means training is in 38,400 format, and testing is in 9,600 format. Okay, here this is important, like 31,666 and 31,666 column is important. Okay, here rows are only difference. And then here we are using the decision tree classifier algorithm to find our accuracy. Okay, so I have created and initialize the decision tree classifier, and then I have trained my model with passing the training data set of x and y. So once that has been created, we will try to predict the y. So y predict is equal to classifier dot predict. We are passing the x test value, and then if you are checking the final predicted values, we are having 9600 rows. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to find the accuracy score as well as the confusion matrix for our model. So accuracy score has been created and as well as confusion matrix has been created. Here if you check means we are getting only 67 percentage of accuracy, which means so it can able to predict 67 percentage of sentence whether it is an um, positive tweet or a negative tweet. Okay, up to this, the actual program which we are trying to solve is getting over. So this word cloud and then detecting languages are just optional ones. So I will explain that also. Here, if you go for the word cloud means, so if you are having text, okay, I'm creating one empty string, and then in this using a for loop, I'm passing the x string cleaned value, okay, because it will not have any unwanted data. So x, if I pass the x string cleaned value in text, and then if I'm compiling all the text means, so this will be my output. So all the text repeatedly it will show. So then what we will do, we will import the word cloud um, package, and inside that we are having the word cloud. So using the matplotlib method, so I am importing the matplotlib as well, and cloud is equal to word cloud. I am initializing it. Okay, I am initializing it, and then I am generating a cloud. Okay, based on the texts we have collected. Okay, and then I am trying to visualize it by giving plt dot figure figure size 15 by 15 I have given for a bigger size, and then plt dot image show cloud, the cloud which we have created. Okay, so we don't need any to represent any x and y axis, so I am specifying axis as off. So now if you go and see means our word cloud has been created. The words which you are seeing in an bigger fonts are most occurred words like love, time, quote, today, work, day. All these are most occurred words. That's why the those fonts are more bigger than when comparing to other small words present in our um, sentence. And then finally, we can also detect the language, which language this particular sentence has been written. So for that, we have to import the pip install language detection library. Okay, so from language detection, we have to import the detect method. So if you detect this some English language means it will return the code of that particular language. So if I am putting it any Hindi word means, so it will say Hindi, like in short HI. So likewise, we can check for all the sentences which are present in the text cleaned data. Okay. X just clean data. Here, there is some possibility that it will throw some error. So that's why we are putting it under the exception handling. So I'm giving try. Inside that try, if text is not equal to empty, okay, we are trying to detect the language and we will store that particular code in lang. And if any exception occur means we will put language is equal to error, and then we will print in which line it is showing the error, and then we will finally pass the proper data alone. So language dot append lang, whichever it has taken. So after completing this particular process, so we have got error in some two lines. Okay, and then if you are fine. trying to print the unique values, the languages which present, as well as the count of that particular language means. So here if you see means most of the languages are present in our Twitter sentiment, and in that EN is our English language, right? So we are having most tweet in the English language only. So 6,950 tweets are present in English language only. So like this, we will um, find the unique languages present in our data set. So that's all for that's all the summary of this particular class. Thank you.